two more conferences to get through, as well as some Group of Five stuff. So we'll pick up the pace a little bit. The Big 12, highlighted by two upsets, and they're not of the friendly variety. If you are a fan of the Big 12, Wyoming knocks off Texas Tech 35-33 in double overtime. Texas State beats Baylor 42-31 on the banks of the Brazos. Trey, Texas State gets their first Power Five win in program history. The G.J. Kinney era is well underway, and T.J. Finley looked like the quarterback that Auburn and LSU had hoped for.
Yeah, TJ Finley was awesome in this game. I can't remember the guy's name, but the catch down the sideline might be a catch of the year candidate already in week 1. No gloves, going up and grabbing it, keeping the drive alive for his team. Awesome day for the guys from San Marcos. Like when I talk about like a sleeping giant program, one of the biggest schools in the state of Texas, never done anything at the top level of college football. I think they have a national championship at D2, but just never really done anything since they moved up to Division I. But maybe they're starting to build something. Maybe, Jake Spavital had a really dumb recruiting strategy, just completely abandoned high school recruiting, and maybe Texas State's starting to turn a corner. Maybe this is another sign of using the transfer portal to completely reinvigorate a team.
Garrett, I'm going to toss you the Texas Tech grenade because you were really high on them.
I'm too sad to talk about it, so thank you for doing that.
Well, it's the benefits of a three-man show. Sometimes the wheel of unfortune doesn't spin to you. Tech just couldn't get the offense going in this game. I mean, Tyler Shuck did not look sharp. The running game was non-existent, and you would have spurts of success for the Red Raiders. Then you look up and suddenly it's 3rd and 14, and they're not able to convert. How concerned are you for Texas Tech after dropping a game up in Laramie?
I mean, if you're looking at the way that a lot of us projected them to be, then the alarm meter is going off right now with sounds. The red is flashing. I mean, how do you go up to Wyoming and lose that game, and then we're still going to sit here and defend you guys as, going to compete for your conference, might upset the 81-point stomp on a 5-year-old Oregon Ducks, right?
That's me.
I just don't understand how you're supposed to defend that. Oregon's not going to be nice to you either. They're not going to come to your house and be nice. The crowd will be fired up, but man, what a disappointment, right? Just what an absolute disappointment from Texas Tech. Like you're saying, Mitch, just completely inconsistent on offense. There were moments it looked good, and then it just fell apart. What that tells you is that it's there. It's not like you don't have anything on offense. It's not like you don't have something that can go right. Was it the focus? Was it the fact that there was a long delay at the beginning of the game, and so they got started late and they just weren't, locked in? I don't know what it was, but big chance for the staff now to try to figure out what that issue was, get things straightened out. And man, I just find myself not knowing what to say about this one. If I'm being honest, it's inexcusable. That's what happens when you have these big time upsets. It was close. No cigar. At least he didn't get stomped by a smaller team like Baylor did. But yeah, it's just a tough scene for Texas Tech right now, and a lot to fix very quickly.
3 missed field goals. They jumped out to a 17-0 lead, and then the offense just completely shut down until they got a field goal to tie it and send it to overtime. Yep. And look, weird things happen when power teams go to a G5 stadium. That just is a cardinal rule of college football. Weird things happen when it's a Power 5 at a G5. But even all that being said, this is still a game that Texas Tech feels like they should have won, and they absolutely on the field should have won this game. They had multiple chances to. Now they got to turn around and face Oregon at home, and it doesn't get any easier from there.
14-0 was the score just a couple minutes into the first quarter. It wasn't that Tech was asleep at the wheel to start. They just then put it in cruise control. And I guess Wyoming, I don't know if they have HOV lanes up there in Laramie, but boy, they, put the blinker on and sped, quickly caught up to the Red Raiders and then eventually passed them. The newbies go 4-0. Houston upsets UTSA. We wondered what Vegas knew. The line was only 1.5 when we picked it.
They knew Frank Harris was going to throw 3 interceptions.
Only the second time in his illustrious career that he's thrown 3 picks. He looked terrible. UTSA's offense couldn't get off the ground. They fall to the Cougars 17-14. Cincinnati drubs Eastern Kentucky 66-13. Emory Jones has a great day in his Cincinnati debut, one of the nation's leaders in QBR. UCF blows out Kent State. Thank you to a late cover play for the Knights. We were watching that with quite the ferocious intensity late. I posited, what was it, maybe early in the third quarter, how on earth is this over not going to hit? It's only at 55. And then it took two of the waning moments for that to hit. Kent State had no intention of helping out on the offensive scoreboard. John Reese Plumlee, 371 yards and 4 total touchdowns as well. And then BYU, one of the shakiest games of maybe in program history, 14-0 win over Sam Houston. That was with Sam's quarterback throwing 3 interceptions. Trey, as you noted before we hit record, I just kept thinking the ESPN app wasn't updating because it was 7-0 for the longest time. And no, it was right. The Cougars just couldn't score, but the newbies do go 4-0. Elsewhere around the Big 12, nothing really remarkable. Texas, we'll talk more about them in the next episode when we get ready to preview the Longhorns going to Tuscaloosa. A slow start for Texas, beating Rice 37-10, but the defense was elite. I will give them that cap nod. The concern coming out of this game, Quinn continues to struggle throwing the deep ball. And if you're not able to pick apart the Alabama secondary, I don't think their running game is going to be strong enough this early in the season to beat the Tide. Oklahoma State does terrible things to Arkansas State. Did you guys see Butch Jones immediately turns around and blames his players?
Oklahoma did stuff to Arkansas.
I'm sorry, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
We'll get
Oklahoma
to
State didn't do terrible things to anybody yesterday.
No, they did not. Oklahoma, Boomer Sooner, 73, Arkansas State, 0. Yeah, Butch Jones is getting consoled by his students, his team on the sideline, and then in the press conference turns around and blames his players for not showing up. We made the joke that maybe he's building something. Maybe he could turn it around at Arkansas State. I say kick him out. I don't think there's any reason for Butch Jones to have a job much longer after that.
I have long said that Butch Jones is a class act, and I will stand by that. Okay, that's a classy man right there, coaching Arkansas State.
He hands out cash like nobody else does.
Exactly.
Kansas State blows out SEMO 45-0. Kansas beats Missouri State 48-17. Oklahoma State, thank you, does not do bad things to Central Arkansas. It's only a 27-13 victory there. And Iowa State 30-9. Trey, I'll let you choose to decide to air your comment or simply pass on it, but they did score some points in this game.
I'll refrain from commenting until the Cyhawk game next week. We'll save some time there.
30-9 over Northern Iowa.
Gracious him! How about that?